Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Canned Air, your tribute to pop culture. I am Jeremy Colley.
And I'm Randy Hardenbrook.
And joining us today, returning to the show actually, he first joined us back in episode 331, which was January 2020, right before the world went to hell, right before the COVID pandemic. And boy, has he been pretty damn busy in that time since. He's
just a little bit.
What's that?
I said just a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, on top of his many con appearances, his voice has been in Paper Mario, Super Mario 3D All-Stars, Super Mario 3D World and Bowser's Fury, Mario Golf, Mario Strikers, Mario Party Superstars, running out of breath, Mario and Rabbids, Sparks of Hope, and Mario Wonder. Again, that's just been in the past few years, ladies and gentlemen. We welcome back the voice of Bowser himself, Kenny James, to the show. Kenny, thanks so much for being back, man.
Man, I did not realize it's been since 2020.
I know. I hadn't either until right before that we were, planning for this. I looked at the date and I was like, shit.
Holy cow. But, I mean, wow. It really doesn't seem like that long ago. Yeah, I've had a lot of stuff going on since then.
I would say so.
A lot of anime, too. So, I mean, that's the whole reason why I moved. Back in late 2019. So,
I think I'm sorry, Randy, go ahead.
No, we probably went. I was all like, yeah, I'm going to be trying to do some anime, and that's why I moved. And so, now I'm firmly entrenched at Crunchyroll, so it's cool.
That's very cool, and we're definitely going to be finding more out about that and talking. When we first had you on, we already asked all the main Bowser questions we had, but there were definitely some that we didn't get to ask because of time, and just some questions that have manifested in the time since we talked. So very excited to do all that. But before we get to it, we're going to spend the first part of the episode talking about some of our favorite dragons from throughout pop culture, which is, of course, inspired by Bowser. I've got a few good picks on my list. I'm sure you guys do as well. And then we're going to be turning our attention over to Kenny to catch up with him, see what he's been up to since 2020. But before we do anything, don't forget to find us on Twitter at CannedAirPod, on Instagram at Canned_Air. And if you want to show some support and get something in return, head over to CannedAirPodcast.com. There's a merch tab and a Patreon tab, 2 ways for you to throw a little bit of your hard-earned money our way and get something in return. Randy, what am I forgetting?
As always, huge shout out to evergreenpodcast.com, the network we are so proud to be a part of.
All right, our favorite dragons from throughout pop culture. Randy, show us how it's done, sir.
So the first one I've got is a Rankin Bass animated movie from, I think it was late 70s, early 80s, but Flight of Dragons, which was, still one of my favorite movies. It has James Earl Jones in it. John Ritter played the main character. Have you not seen that, Kenny?
No, I can't recall that. But you gotta, when I was the late 70s, early 80s, I was graduating high school, so I probably didn't care.
You probably at the football game, kissing girls, whatnot.
No, we didn't have a football team where I went to school.
Really?
No football, no band.
What? Was it a really small school? What was the deal?
Oh, like you wouldn't believe.
Wow.
I went to school in a town called Broadus, Texas. And the population of the town while I was going to school there was about 181.
Wow.
And I had 30 people in my graduating class. So
Wow. I thought my class was small.
We had basketball, had a few years where they won state championships for the size of the school, several years in a row. Had an NBA player come out of that team. Terry Teagle played for Lakers and
wow.
Yeah. So, but yeah, other than that, we had baseball team, and that was pretty much it.
That's pretty incredible, though. For such a small school to yield a Lakers ball player and the voice of Bowser too. Damn.
That too, yeah. But I got out as soon as possible. I know we're off the dragon theme here,
Oh,
but
you're good, man. That's how we do it.
I I joined the Navy 7 months before I graduated high school.
Wow.
Delayed entry program. I was like, I am out of here. And I was like, screw you guys. I'm going home. So I did. 12 days after I graduated high school, I was on my first plane ride to San Diego to go to boot camp. 12 days after graduation. So
Wow.
That's
I mean,
insane.
I would imagine that to be scary no matter how bad you wanted to get out of town.
yeah, but I wanted to fly. I thought flying would be cool. You know, I
Sure.
thought, like this is the first time I'd been on a big airplane, but I didn't even have the window seat, so that sucked. But the guy that I
Can't win
was
them all.
the guy that I was sitting next to wound up being in my boot camp company. He was from Houston,
Oh, wow.
and I was all like, "Oh wow, we wound up in the same company." Remember me from the plane? You know, I remember his name was Pilot. That was his last name, Pilot.
Okay.
It looked like pilot, but it was pronounced Pilot.
Ooh.
Aren't you supposed to be up front?
Yeah. Yeah, back in those days, I mean, they used to just have the damn cockpit door was just open during
Right.
flights, and you
Yeah.
could walk up there and can I take a look, and they didn't care. Now it's all so different,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's
They
like
just tousle your hair and welcome you in.
if you sneeze twice, they divert the plane and kick you off, and which, I happen to agree with. I mean,
Sure.
people are jerks. So
Yeah.
Isn't that the truth?
anyway,
We could,
so this movie with John Ritter, what was the name of it again?
It's called Flight of Dragons, and it's
The name sounds familiar, but I know I've never seen it.
have you seen, so Rankin Bass also did the animated Hobbit movies. Did you see that?
Bits and pieces, but so I mean, I'm familiar with the animation company and all that. I mean, everybody is. They should
Right.
be.
Yeah.
oh, yeah.
Because I mean, that's so many of the Christmas specials and everything that came out during the 70s and all that stuff. Rankin Bass,
Right.
But
And
yeah, no, I don't think I ever saw it.
it's really good in the same animation style as The Hobbit. That's why I brought it up. I think that's when they were subbing out all their animation work to Toho, maybe.
Maybe.
But it's really good. It's very heavy into like kind of the D&D themes and stuff like that. But typical sword and dragon movie. But it's really cool. So
I don't know how I missed that. I always just think of the Christmas classics, the stop motion.
Right.
So this is 2D animated though, like The Hobbit, you said.
Yep.
Yeah.
Huh.
No, I remember The Hobbit, the animated Hobbit. I do remember that. And I was all, when I got the message the other day, it's like, we're going to do pop culture dragons, and I was all like, oh,
These idiots.
you think, not this one, but,
Yeah.
one of the ones that popped into my head was the dragon from the Dragon Slayer.
Was that the video game?
No, not Dragon's Lair, which is also a good one, except that you don't see the dragon until the last level.
Right.
But I'll tell you what, I was in the Navy and I was going through the school for the sonar system that I would wind up operating for 4 years. And we used to go to the bowling alley during lunch on the base at Dragon's Lair. And it got so popular that they had to do the thing like they used to, where they put a monitor on top of the video game so that people could see it. And I used to be able to go in there, drop 50 cents in that game, and play all the way through with one guy.
Wow.
What?
And then we would just smugly turn around and go, who's next? And just let them play the rest of our characters. It would be all like, I've got 4 guys left. Who wants to play? I'm done.
Mic drop.
That was it.
Step up, asshole. Give it a chance. You won't be as good as me, though.
They, that that dragon was cool at the end. Yeah. But Dragon Slayer was a movie, live action.
It was like late or early 80s,
Um,
wasn't it?
it had to be early 80s.
I've
And
got to
if you
look this up.
I don't know if you're already looking, but I'm at the same time I'm going, let me look.
Arnold wasn't in that, was he? Or am I?
No.
Okay, but that was like the same time as like Conan and like the Beastmaster and that kind
But
of.
1981, it says.
yeah, and it did have somebody relatively big time that back in those days he was really young. But I can't think of his name.
I'm looking.
I'm sitting here actually trying to pull it up on IMDb.
Peter McNichol.
Yeah, yeah.
There we go.
He was in like Ghostbusters 2, and he did a whole bunch of stuff.
Who was he in Ghostbusters 2?
Okay, now in Dragon Slayer, there is an animated one. That's not what I'm talking about. It's the live action thing. So
I know what you're talking about because I remember I've seen trailers for it. I just
in
don't think.
Ghostbusters 2, he was the guy with the funny accent that worked in the museum and wound up getting possessed. And
Oh my
Okay.
God. Okay, yeah.
it's that guy.
Okay.
He had a funny accent.
I'm dripping in the goo.
Yeah.
Wow. No, I haven't seen this. Is it, does it still hold up? Do you think it's still worth watching?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's a typical story of kind of a father who has hidden his daughter, made her look like a boy her whole life so that she wouldn't be picked to sacrifice to the dragon because, they need a virgin sacrifice or
Right.
whatever. And then, Peter McNichol, he was working with some wizard, and then the wizard gets killed, and he's got some wizard skills, but not enough. And so, yeah, no, I think it holds up. So
I'll have to check that out. Looks like it's streaming on Pluto. I just looked up on my phone. So
is it? Sweet.
have to
it's
check
still
that out.
around. Yeah, it's been around a long time,
I'll have to
but
check that out.
it's still around. Yeah, I think it holds up pretty well. The special effects probably aren't, up to our standards. Now we would have Smaug, and there's
It would
another
all be CG.
Right.
another dragon for you. That one. Have you ever seen the behind the scenes stuff with what's his doodle?
Cumberbatch?
Benedict Cumberbatch doing his Smaug thing, in a motion capture situation. And he is just crawling around on a tabletop,
What?
doing his Smaug voice, and it's really, really cool. He got into it. I mean, he got into it almost as much as what's his doodle? God, why is it I have so much trouble with names?
It's all good. It's all good.
Andy Serkis.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Because Andy Serkis is the master of performance capture.
Yeah, no doubt.
Absolutely.
And I know a lot of people who do motion capture, like most of the cast from Red Dead and Red Dead 2.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, right.
I know those guys. They were like, we worked on that game for like 5 years. And
I believe it, though.
Yeah, one time, Big Ben Davis, I said something about that toward the end where you come out of that little cabin dual wielding. And he was all like, I was actually wearing that coat while we were shooting all that stuff.
Wow.
He goes, it was so freaking hot. But, other than that, you got ping pong balls all over you and stuff, and this thing on your face. And, those guys worked hard on that game. And Red Dead 2, it shows.
Yeah, it's a great
game. They worked on it. There are 5 endings for that game. I've got 2.
Okay.
I need to get back in and start over again and do it again.
That's one of those games like Skyrim where you can just lose like an entire freaking weekend and not even mean to.
Honors.
Yeah.
I just did that a couple days ago. Actually, it was a couple nights ago. My wife got up and came out of the bedroom, and it's like 1:30 in the morning, and I'm playing Call of Duty World War II. because I was all like, did I play that? I don't remember if I played that. I did, but then I re-downloaded it into my PS5 and I was playing it and I couldn't stop. I had on my headphones, man, and I was killing Nazis. Yeah.
Oh, that's so
I looked at
much
her and I
fun.
went, I killed 50 men. So
She's like, "Come to bed, Kenny."
no, I was like, I'll be in there in a bit. But
4 hours
let's
later.
see. Other dragons.
I've got one for you.
Okay, we haven't let you talk, so go
That's
ahead.
okay. I typically do most of the talking, so it's nice to be able to sit back.
No, we want to hear Kenny talk about killing Nazis. Come on.
The Nazis.
There's
Nazis.
always time for that. No, have you guys seen Loki?
Yeah, the first season. I have not seen the second season yet.
There was in a second to last episode, they get to like this, like they go to the end of time, like this land at the end of time where everyone's being banished to, and there's this huge like dragon made of clouds named Alioth. And if there was anything that reminded me of Bowser, it was that, because you just see this huge black cloud and it starts to kind of take the shape of a dragon head, but like inside there you can see the glowing eyes and the glowing mouth. Yeah, kind of like that. Just add some more clouds to it. But it was so freaking cool. And he just circled the land looking for someone to devour, to eat. It kind of reminded me of what was the movie A Quiet Place? Or
Yeah.
is the one that has the aliens everywhere, and if you make any noise from miles
Oh.
away, they can hear you and
Yeah,
come
I
eat
think
you.
that's
Do you know
what that is. Yeah, I think that's A Quiet Place.
that's very much what it reminded me of. They had to stay underground because too much noise on the surface of any kind could alert this huge smog dragon to come get them. It was so sweet.
Kind of a precursor to Super Mario Wonder, where at
I
the
was just thinking
beginning,
that.
Bowser turns into Bowser
Yes.
Castle kind of thing,
Yeah.
And speaking about Mario Wonder, I am one world away from kicking your ass, sir.
Oh, that's cool. I don't even own it.
You don't?
No. I know everybody always goes, what? They don't give you the games and stuff? It's like, no. They
Oh,
don't.
they should at least send you a copy of it. Come on,
I know.
Nintendo.
When I walk out of the studio, I'm unemployed. So
Wow.
until the next time, so
Jeez.
Sure.
same. Well, I mean, it's the same thing with anime. I mean, with voice acting in general, it's like unless you've got a specific contract for a run of something,
hmm
like say The Simpsons, where those people are making like $1 million an episode or something, or
Yeah. Isn't that crazy to think about?
insane. But for the rest of us little people, we go in there and we go blah blah blah, quack quack quack, and then we go thanks. And when I walk out the door, I'm unemployed.
So,
Man.
not to get off topic, but I do have a question on the anime thing. So I know, like, especially like with Crunchyroll now, they do like the simulcast where they'll like release a new episode in Japan, and then a few days or a few weeks later, it'll get dubbed and released for the US. Um, Something like that, like between seasons or leading up to it. Are you in contract for all those episodes, or is it just how does that work?
Well, see, it varies a lot. I got approached about a show. They wondered about my availability for the entire run because it was simulcast. And then I wound up just doing the first episode, and that's been it so far.
Okay.
That was, but they just needed to know if I was available. What was that show? Oh, the 100 Girlfriends Who Really, 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 Really Love You.
Uh,
I'm in episode 1. I'm this love god, and I go completely over the top, even talking about how the manga, I don't want to disappoint manga readers, and kind of breaking the fourth wall kind of stuff. But for the most part, I get called in episode by episode. I think Miyagi here is Dr. Miyagi from One Piece. He's probably my longest running character because they still call me in for him every few episodes. They'll be all like, "Oh, we need you for One Piece," and I'm like, "Okay, it's probably me."
But so that's not contracted though. It's just kind of like a will call.
Well,
Right.
right, but I do have a contract, but the contract specifies that I may or may not be used for anything,
Oh, wow.
but
Huh.
here's your rate, you know.
Okay.
So it was better than my Funimation contract. So yay
Fair
for
enough.
yay for Crunchyroll. Following it. I mean, it's all owned by Sony anyway. Sony owns all of that stuff. So
Yeah.
Yeah, there's always a parent company in the background.
yeah, and this one's got a big one.
Yeah,
So
I would say.
um, but I describe it as the Forrest Gump box of chocolates of voice acting. You never know what you're gonna get, you know. So like I just got an email today. Actually, they sent it. The talent coordinator sent it at like midnight last night, and I had just gone to bed. But it was. I get up this morning. It's like, hey, we need you. Can you come in on Monday at this time to do this show? And I was like, sure. So that's the way it goes. You just wait for an email.
Sure.
Jeez.
Does it ever, I mean, I know you've been in it long enough now to where it's probably not an issue, but I mean, are there ever like periods between those calls where you start to worry, like, man,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
okay.
There's been times where it's been a month and a half or maybe two even where I'm like, did I piss somebody off? You know, what did I do? But I'm like, did I get blacklisted? I ran into Justin Cook, who's well known for Dragon Ball, but he's like the supervising producer at Crunchyroll. And I ran into him at a con one time, and I was like, dude, I haven't been called in for ever. Did I piss somebody off? Did I get blacklisted? He goes, there's no blacklist. He goes, just the way it works. And I go, all right, I get it. Yeah. So I stopped worrying about it, and I was just all like, well, it would be nice if I got called in once a week or twice a week or something. But
Right.
if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. I mean, I rely on cons and Crunchyroll.
Sure. Not all, you don't have all your eggs in the same basket.
No, I mean, if I did, I'd be completely destitute. I would be talking to you from a cardboard box, with a flip phone.
Is he talking on a Motorola Razor?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, are there any other, really quick? It seems like this conversation wants to go a different route, so we don't have to humor the dragon thing, which I'm
Yeah,
totally fine with. So,
there are other good dragons. I have, oh, I really should have brought this up or looked this up in my gallery before, but um, Toothless and the Light Fury
Hmm.
from How to Train Your Dragon, right?
Hmm.
oh, okay.
I don't know if you guys ever got a chance to see this guy he's like a special effects guy, and he created life-size versions of those dragons that you could sit on and take pictures and all this stuff.
Yes,
And
we
Oh, how
saw one
cool.
at a convention in Cincinnati years back.
okay, then yeah, it was a few years ago.
Yeah.
Um, since then, he's done Cringer and Battle Cat, you know.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
Um, but yeah, I have these great pictures with those dragons. I just don't know where they are because pictures.
Yeah.
It's all
So
like,
many of
okay,
them, they get
you've
lost.
got 2,000 pictures in your phone, and you're like, yeah, I'm trying to figure that out. That's never going to happen. But
Anytime I
anyway,
tell anyone, like, let me look that picture up really quick, their eyes just roll to the back of their head. Like, anyway,
it's not gonna
he's
it's
going to
not
be
gonna be
forever.
real quick. Yeah, Oh
It's
God, see,
no worries. Take your time, man.
I've got like 200 pictures of my cat. She's dead now, but yeah, so that's sad. But
Well, I don't want to laugh at that.
oh,
That
there
is
we
sad. That's
go.
horrible.
Let's see. What was really cool about these two is that no matter where you were standing, it looked like they were looking right at you. Hopefully you can be able to see that.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, those were exact.
wow.
I think that was at least the Toothless.
That's
That was.
that's me standing there. But yeah, he was touring around, and that was the first time that I saw the dragons. And they actually had, I think they were Build-A-Bear dragons of Toothless and Light Fury,
Mhm.
and they were having celebrities autograph them, and then they auctioned them off for like Make-A-Wish. I think it was
Oh,
Oh,
like,
cool.
wow.
and so I got nobody had signed the tails on either one of them, and I was all like, yeah, I got room, man. Sign the tail because they were like, would you be interested in signing this? I was like, yeah, well.
Of course. Hell yeah.
So yeah. And so yeah, I believe I am about 99% that it was for Make-A-Wish. Pretty sure it was for Make-A-Wish.
Okay.
So it's so cool when people do stuff like that because they
Yeah,
could easily cash in on their own. But
they had so many autographs on these things. It was unreal. I couldn't even, you can't read most people's autographs, but I was just looking and going, geez, like you got like 50 autographs on these things, man. But I was happy to do it. Then I saw them a couple other times. That particular guy, he does great cosplay as Stark, Iron Man.
okay.
Tony Stark, he looks just like him when he puts on the glasses and he does his goatee thing and stuff, and he looked exactly like him. I was like,
I think I've seen him on TikTok or something. Does he also like
probably,
have the glowing thing in his chest underneath the
yeah,
shirt?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, he gave me a dragon. He gave me a dragon medallion from way back when I did that thing that he molded. You won't be able to see it. It's got dragon heads. Oh, you can sort of see
Oh,
it.
Oh
yeah, I
yeah.
can definitely
Yeah,
see
yeah.
that. That looks awesome. Is that
Yeah.
like 3D printed or what is that?
No, I think he molded it. I don't know
Wow.
out of what. I don't know. Oh, it's John Marks. Because
John.
here's the thing I got that it says I have the power and has the sword on it, and then
Oh,
That is sweet.
on the back it has his logo for Brazen Monkey Props. So
Wow.
sweet.
yeah, people give me all sorts of stuff. Somebody last con I was at, um, some staff person gave me her Special Olympics medal that she won. Wanted me to have it.
What?
That's
Really?
cool.
I know it's real. It's
That is
That's
cool, but at the
insane.
same time,
it's
it's like, what? Why?
it's made out of metal. It's a real metal.
That's
Did she
awesome.
explain like why she wanted you to have it?
She just loves me and the character and the franchise.
Wow.
So
That's so cool.
it doesn't say what she won it for, and I'm sorry if you're watching this. I don't remember if you told me what you won it for. So, but yeah. So
Still though, I mean, such a
I have a
personal thing.
Yeah.
I have a Special Olympics medal because I probably should have a Special Olympics medal. No, I mean it's like,
Oh
oh, you're
shit.
special, yeah, special ed, but
Did you wear it the rest of the day as you signed further autographs or
I
no?
did not. I put it in my backpack, so
Okay.
I dropped one of my coins. Oh, I don't know. People give me all this stuff, and then I try to put it on these shelves, and I'm running out of space. And
Oh, you're preaching to the choir, man. Same over
Yeah.
here. We don't have as nearly as much stuff given to us as you do, but we've got some coins up there. Like the 501st gave us coins, remember, Randy?
Yep.
well,
Our Zordon coins.
I mean, people give me stuff that's this big.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
awesome, though. That is so cool.
That's handmade, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's
Uh,
awesome.
and I'm always getting these little bracelets that say Bowser, stuff like that. But this this was really cool. I travel light, and I barely got this home. I had to smush it into my roller.
Was it like
Okay.
paper mache? What's it made of?
It's feels like styrofoam that's
Okay.
painted, and then it's got the little top glued on it and a piece of rope sticking out for the fuse. And
Yeah, for the
S-
people listening at home who are not watching the video, it's a like a homemade bomb.
oh yeah, there you go.
Now,
I didn't
question.
think about audio.
You're good. You're
We
good.
often
Hey,
forget
y'all, too.
ourselves.
Hey, all
My
you
question.
audio people out there, how's it going?
So you said you put that in your carry-on, right? Did the TSA give you any type of shit for that, or was that just okay?
No, because it didn't show up as organic, so they didn't care.
Okay.
Can I tell you a funny story, Kenny? I've already told this to Randy. The beginning of this year, Brooke and I went to Disney, and one of the things I had to do was go to the Star Wars world, and
Oh
I got
yeah.
a lightsaber hilt, Palpatine's lightsaber hilt. And when it was in the luggage on the way home, I had it smashed down in the center of the briefcase, but suitcase, and it was going through the X-ray machine, and I was watching the guy sitting there watching the monitor, and when it passed over that thing a few times, you saw him start to chuckle. I don't think he thought it was a lightsaber. I think he thought it was a tool for
Yeah, some
pleasuring
sort of a
oneself.
tool. Yeah, it's a Gizmotron.
Yeah, it was so fucking funny. Had it been anyone else's saber, it would have been you would have seen it was a saber. But for some reason, Palpatine's has the right curves and stuff, and if it's laying the right way to
Yeah.
TSA, it's something else. Anyway,
Let's see. Other dragons. Um, I don't know why I'm looking behind me. All of this is Bowser stuff. So.
I've got
So,
one more we could do if unless
Okay,
Randy had one you wanted to get off your chest.
ready,
uh,
set, go.
so I've got one, but it's another '70s cartoon, Godzuki from the Hanna-Barbera Godzilla.
Oh man, like the comic relief, like the little baby
Yes.
Godzilla.
You
Yeah,
know,
I
the
remember him.
typical Hanna-Barbera formula where you have, the badass
You know
Godzilla and the
what's
team and
really, really stupid
with
is that I can remember the theme.
Oh,
it's
really?
not
Up and
Godzilla.
death,
Yep.
30 stories high, breathing fire, his head in the sky, Godzilla.
Godzilla
Hey, I was a kid.
and Godzuki. And then he like flies
Uh,
into the ship.
yeah, Suzuki.
Oh yeah. I
I
that
mean, that really was as bad as back in the live action days from Japan
mhm.
when they had that Godzilla Jr. that actually talked. Well, here
Yes.
goes. Whoa. It's all like, why? Why did you do that to
Like a
Brent?
live action?
Yes.
What?
Yeah, it was they introduced this little baby Godzilla thing that could speak English.
Yeah,
Oh
Godzilla
wow.
Jr.
Yeah, it was bad.
Or maybe it was just Manila, maybe?
I think that that may have been Godzilla versus King Kong, the
It might
original one,
be.
but
I gotta
I'm not
go.
sure.
I've got to watch that. No,
Oh no, that character was terrible though.
yeah. There was
It
one
sounds like it.
There was one Godzilla movie, and the ones before it, like anytime like other monsters would interact, like Godzilla, Mothra, and whatever, it would just be like
Right.
growls and grunts. But I think which one was it? I think it was the first one with Gigan. They it was Godzilla and the spiky one, I think Angulus or something like that. But they're swimming and they're having like a full-blown English conversation.
Ew.
Like, yeah, it just
These are
stuff like that.
American. The movie's dubbed for Americans. I mean, that's not the way
Correct.
that.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
I've
But
no, I have
still, it
I
shouldn't be.
have yeah. Yeah, like don't do narration expose between two kaiju. Come on, man.
Yeah, I
Yeah, I
guess.
mean that's kind of how this character in the 100 Girlfriends Who Really, 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 Really Love You. I always have to do it so I make sure I get enough
I saw that.
five reallys. That it was all my character was basically there for exposition. It was like, well, here, let me explain the backstory in a
Right.
humorous sort of way, so but that's fine.
Man, sometimes these anime titles just crack me up. Like it's
Oh, I
like
know.
that, or it's like I got pulled into a dungeon again, or something like.
One of the one of the very first things they brought me in for was, I think it was the second show they brought me in for, was back at Funimation when it was in Flower Mound, was Cautious Hero. The hero is, wait, Cautious Hero. The hero is overpowered but overly cautious.
Doesn't that sound like a bunch of fun?
Well, it sounds like Japanese anime. I think
Yeah,
it went, well, I mean, there is no other anime really, but I think it was like 12 episodes. But
Huh.
they put me in for a character that I don't think I have one of the prints here. No, I don't. He was this shopkeeper, and he had on a metal helmet that mostly was just the center of his head, and it had a red mohawk
Oh, how
with
fortuitous.
horns. It had little horns and a red mohawk, and he was pretty chunky. And I was like, really?
little on the nose there, guys. Come on.
Yeah. But it was cool. I was like, hey, want to buy some of my greater medicinal herbs? They're 3 times more powerful than the regular kind. So,
Gives you an opportunity to use that Bowser voice to actually speak some dialogue, though,
well,
right?
except, so I told him, I said, I don't want to be too Bowsery because I don't want to step on any Nintendos.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You don't want the big end coming for you.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to step on those toes.
And I was in Attack on Titan. I was King Fritz.
Yes.
That is a good. I love that anime.
There we go. Yeah, it's coming to an end soon, but this one's actually autographed. I think I was trying out a new pen, and I autographed this, and it's just been sitting on my desk.
You've got a nice autograph, too. You can actually read it.
Yeah, I mean, I know it looks like it's backwards probably because of the camera.
No, it looks good.
No, yeah, it's coming
But,
through fine on this end.
Yeah, normally with my Bowser autograph, I put little horns on each end.
Oh, I see.
And people are like, oh, that's so cool. I go, yeah, I came up with that all by myself.
But it's awesome when you can actually read the autograph. Like I'm looking at my Adam West autograph up on the wall. It just looks like it says Ash Wheat. Like you would never know if the picture wasn't there.
Yeah, I try to sign clearly, and truth of the matter is, my appearance agent, when I first started doing shows and I signed with them, he told me flat out, he goes, your autograph sucks. And I was all like, cool.
You didn't say that.
So I went home and I practiced, and I tried some different things, and then I came up with I signed Kenny James, and the Y always splits the loop of the J, and in that part of the loop is where the first quotation mark is for Bowser, and that's not Bowser. And then I decided I'm going to put little Bowser horns above my name on the ends. So, and people eat that up.
I see why too. I wish I had one.
Well, let's see, where am I going to be?
Well, we were just a few tables from you, and back in November, I just never got the chance to come over.
I'm going to be in Little Rock in the beginning part of February, and going to Washington State shortly after that.
I keep getting further away from us.
Going to Cincinnati.
Okay.
Now we're talking.
Okay, I'm going to Super Cincy Expo in April.
Okay.
Super Cincy Expo. I've never even heard of that one.
Huntsville, Alabama, and San Antonio. Those are the 5 shows I have scheduled right now. So
Okay. All right.
I'm going to look
hopefully
into that Super Cincy.
Yeah, we'll have to check that out.
Cincy.
Cool.
Well, at least that's what I wrote down. Wait a minute. But you know what? Bowser, and this is the Bowser from the Universal Park.
Okay.
Yeah, my agent got me him. And then my wife put sunglasses on him. But
I was just going to ask you if you had been to the park yet, and if you have done any of the voice work of like Bowser on the rides or anything.
as far as I'm aware, they used me for the ride where you're shooting and
Okay.
like a Mario, the Mario Kart kind of ride.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm sure they use me for other stuff too, but they don't necessarily need me because they have a lot of stuff to use.
Okay, that's what I was wondering, if they recycled stuff they already had or if they were getting new tracks.
Some of it, yeah. Then you get big titles like Wonder, and I went in and recorded 2 days for that.
Wow.
Really? That's been such a fun game thus far.
I've only seen bits and pieces of it on the YouTubes. But it's for bringing back a side scroller, it is different. So
Sure. Which, they need to evolve. They need to change in some ways. But I love the side scroll, which I love the 3D ones too. But don't get me wrong, I love those side scrollers.
I love Mario Wonder up until the RPG remake came out, and then that has consumed my life since.
yeah, Super Cincy Expo. And that's Cincy in a Cincy kind of way.
Okay. You said that was April, right?
April 5th through 7th.
Okay, cool.
Sharonville Convention Center.
Oh, I know right where that's at. Okay.
In
road trip.
Cincinnati, Ohio.
Yeah, we'll be like Caddy, and he'll be like, "Oh shit, these guys."
I did. Well, mostly, I'll probably look at you and go, "What?" And you don't know who we are. You don't remember. And I go, "Dude, I see too many people to remember everybody."
Yeah, that's a story of our life. That's what our book's going to read like.
See, then as soon as you go, "Oh yeah, you were on our podcast twice," I'll be like, "Oh yeah, those guys."
The cash or card.
It's like we're twins.
I can't tell you guys apart.
Oh man.
Oh boy, what to ask quick.
But one of the best looking Bowser plushes that I've seen.
Yeah, I'm jelly of it. That's why I got this guy back here around the time the movie came out, and he breathes smoke and stuff. He looks awesome.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh,
I just had this, the 6-inch plastic one that I use this for cameos and stuff, so I can sing "Happy Birthday" to people.
Okay.
Gotcha. I'll be all like, "Happy birthday to you." Happy birthday to so whatever I need to do with it. So
speaking of the Mario movie, I had seen online, and I never trust anything I read online, but there was a whole YouTube thread saying that some of the times where Bowser's growling in anger or something, they were using you instead of Jack Black.
I have no confirmation of that, but I've had people play it for me at my table and go, "No, listen to this."
I would agree.
I'd be all like, "Yeah, that sounds like me."
Yeah, it definitely does. There's a quick montage on YouTube somebody made, and I was looking through the comments, and everyone's like, "Yeah, that's definitely him." And it's you. It's definitely you. It sounds so fucked up that they don't tell you that.
Well, that, and I mean, it would have been nice to at least get an additional voices credit.
Yeah,
right.
It wouldn't have paid anything, but
still all the same
would have been on the credits.
Right.
Yeah.
That would have been sweet, but it is what it is. Voiceover is a weird business, man.
So have you had any kids come up requesting you sing Peaches at them? I know you can sing. I know you've been in
Every
bands.
show since the movie came out.
Oh
Okay.
man.
Every
And
show,
do you...
except for when I went to Brazil. Nobody brought it up. I don't remember anybody bringing it up anyway, but that was so, I'm like, holy crap, I'm in Sao Paulo, Brazil.
Sure. That'd be neat.
That show was, you guys know what E3 is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think this was like E3 times 3.
Really?
So
It
E
was
squared, E3 squared.
enormous. It was so enormous. The Samsung booth, just the facade was probably 75 yards wide. It
Holy
was
cow.
humongous. The Nintendo booth was the size of a mansion. I was like, I wish I had a house this big. And it's in
Damn.
the middle of a convention center, And it was before Wonder came out. Wonder was released on October 20th.
Mm-hmm.
I was there October, I think 9th through 14th or 15th, something like that. But they had a room in the Nintendo display where they had multiple machines where people could play Wonder before it was released.
Oh, that's cool.
So I was all like, wait, that's Wonder? Oh, that's cool. I haven't even seen any of this yet.
Then a kid turns around and says, I just beat the game on one life. Who's next?
Yeah. Dragon's Lair.
So you said that you don't get any of those games, and we know you're an avid video game player. Does that go with all the Mario games? Do you ever go out of your way to pick one up to see what happened with your performance, to check in on what's going on? Anything like that?
I used to. Especially when I first started recording for Nintendo. We actually went and bought a GameCube just because my first game was on the GameCube. So we were
Was it
like,
Sunshine?
no, that was before me. That was Scott Burns.
Okay.
My audition, however, was the lines from Sunshine.
Okay.
And they sent me Scott's tracks. So I assumed, even though they didn't say it, I assumed that they wanted a voice match.
Okay.
Because why would they send me his voice tracks,
Right.
True.
So I did my best Scott Burns, I was like, Mario, how dare you disrupt my family vacation? Blah, blah, blah. Nailed it. But then after that, they wouldn't let me talk. I think I've said 4 or 5 words in English in 19 years, 18, 19 years. So now I forgot what were we talking about? I digressed.
You were talking about the audition process.
The GameCube.
The GameCube. Yeah. Oh, that's right. You asked me if I bought games specifically because I was going to be in them.
Right.
Yeah. So we bought a GameCube because Super Mario Strikers was my first game.
Okay.
And so we were like, all right, cool. And then Nintendo immediately started squeezing more work out of people because of the Wii coming out.
Mm-hmm.
So my second recording session was Mario Kart Wii and Galaxy in the same session.
Wow.
So I was all like, wow, this is going to be hard. But got through that. And subsequent things like, eventually Meowser was the one that hurt me the most.
Right.
Yeah, I remember you talking about that last time. Didn't you rip your vocal cords or something doing that?
It just shredded my throat up. But 2.5 days later, I was singing on stage. So
so not too bad.
Not too bad. There are some internet things out there that say that Kenny James lost his voice recording for 3D World. And it's like, no, I didn't lose my voice. My voice sounded like hell for a couple of days, but I didn't get laryngitis out of it or anything like that.
Right.
it
People
just
just like
sounded
to start
it
shit.
sounded crusty and weird. And then I was all like, boy, I hope I can go and sing Friday night, because I'm in this show.
Right.
So yeah, I was in Evita, and
Oh, wow.
I was Magaldi, the tango singer, plus doing a lot of other chorus stuff, singing in Latin.
Ooh.
Weird.
Where was this at? Where'd you do
It
this?
was community theater in Bremerton, Washington.
Wow.
Like a 200-seat theater. Uh,
Okay.
and we did a good production of Evita. It was well done. Um, that theater is no slouch on sets and, you know, all that jazz.
Sure.
And if I remember right, we had an orchestra for that one.
Oh,
Sometimes you
wow.
play on canned stuff for musicals, but um, on that particular one, if I remember, we had like 9 pieces in the pit, and I wasn't mic'd, but I didn't need to be mic'd.
Because I'm that good.
I
I'm
could sing
fucking
over
Bowser.
I could sing over the pit, and you could hear me in the back. So,
That's awesome.
Damn.
but did a lot of good shows there. I was there for a little over 10 years. Probably did minimum of 20 shows
Wow.
at that theater. Everything from Evita to One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Wow. I would love to see that.
That was my biggest bite. I was all like, what? I'm RP McMurphy, and it's like you're on stage almost every minute of the show.
That is so cool.
So, and I don't like rememorizing. One of the beauties about being a voice actor is that you don't have to, memorize.
Right.
So, but yeah,
Really quick, going back to your music, last time you were on the show, you had talked about being in bands in the past, and you just talked about singing community theater. Do you still either play in bands at all? Do you still do community theater, anything like that?
no,
No, just not enough time.
well, it's the scheduling.
Yeah,
Mm.
I mean, most of my year, as far monetarily, comes from conventions, and those are on the weekends.
sure.
And theater shows are on weekends. So it's really hard to commit. I'd be all like, well, okay, yeah, I can come to rehearsals, but the last show that I did at Bremerton Community Theater was um, Hunchback of Notre Dame,
Oh, cool.
Wow.
and I had to miss 2 performances for that because of conventions.
Jeez.
So actually 2 weekends, I should say.
Okay.
Wait, was it 2 weekends? Might have been 2 weekends out of 5.
Okay.
So they had somebody else play my part, and he broke the costume that I made, and I wasn't too jazzed about that.
Oh, man.
Eric, Eric Richardson.
You
Damn
have
it,
just
Eric.
been called out. We're gonna find you on social media and make you pay.
Yeah, no, I'm sure he didn't mean to, but I was playing a headless statue, Saint Aphrodisias, and I built a rig where they give me this gray robe, and I'm supposed to be a statue, so I grayed my face, I sprayed gray on my hair, more gray than it is, and I built out of aluminum rods and a coat hanger. I built the rig. Have you ever seen those guys that do the thing where they sneeze and their head falls off?
Yeah.
Yes.
And it looks really bizarre. What it is you're pushing the shoulders up at the same
Okay.
time dropping your head. So I built this rig to do that, and it was great. I'm down there, I'm singing my number to Quasimodo and the gargoyles, which
Right.
where this came from. Our director always liked to give us little mementos. This is a gargoyle.
Oh, that's cool.
Um, anyway, um, I would walk around him while I'm singing, and when I first started the number, I started with my head off. And then when he was like, what is it name? And I just pushed my head up and start singing my song. I had to walk down these stairs without my glasses. And then when I was walking around him, I would sneeze and my head would drop off again and I'd push it back up. And the audience would just be either go, or they would, either way, it didn't matter. It was like I got a great reaction, you know.
That is so cool.
So it was a lot of fun. And then I come back from a convention and go to do the show next week. And my rig that I had for inside my robe is all duct taped. And I was all I was like, what happened? And like, Eric broke it. I was all like,
Eric?
Eric's a good guy, though, and good actor, good singer. But,
so really quick, jumping back to then where the singing questions all started was, you saying that children do in fact ask you to sing Peaches for them at cons and stuff. Do you ever humor any of them and do it? No,
it's not me.
Yeah,
understandable.
That's
so
fair.
I'm good. I've never even seen the movie.
Okay, I can understand that. But is that like a thing where, like, if you're not going to credit me, I'm not going to see it, or is it?
I'm not interested because technically I'm not in it.
Yeah,
right.
So I don't really care. I mean, I'd probably see it eventually because eventually you won't have to pay even on a streaming service to see it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually it's just going to pop up on TBS or something, and I'll see it.
It's frustrating because, like, when they started announcing they were doing it, and then the most frustrating thing for me was to hear that Chris Pratt was going to do it. He did a good job, but at the same time, it's just looking at all these characters that have been built up by you guys. You guys created and have kept these characters alive, have breathed their life into them, and then when it comes for this, big movie.
It's one of those things. But back in my days, this is kind of stuff I used to do.
I don't think that's coming through.
Yeah, we don't hear anything.
That's
really?
Weird. Yeah, that's crazy.
That's so weird because I can hear it really good.
Are you talking into a mic, or are you being picked up by the cord hanging on from your ear?
No, this is just to keep my so I don't have to use monitors because I have a shotgun on my desk.
Oh, I see.
If I turn my monitors on, then I start feeding back.
Gotcha.
I want to hear that.
Only going through. Oh, it's bitching. That was 1997. We almost got signed.
What was the name of the band?
Mindfold.
Mindfold. And what kind of music?
It was. I wouldn't say it was metal. It was very progressive metal, maybe.
Okay. It
was 1997 music.
Fair enough.
I want to hear it. Is there any way you can send us an MP3, like one MP3 or something? I want to hear it.
Well, yeah. I mean, I just have to do it. You just have to send me an email and remind me.
Okay. Randy, you're in charge now.
I'll shoot that over.
I can easily send them from my phone or whatever, but
okay.
That album, and it never got finished. So it never got finished being mastered. It's a little bottom heavy, but it still sounds pretty good. I listen back to it and I go, wow. Like, that's when I had a lot of hair.
You still have a lot of hair.
Yeah, well, I used to have hair down to the like, if I how you could reach up and grab it and pull it down.
Yeah.
Hair was wavy. I could pull it down right about to the waistband of my Levi's.
Wow. You're like some Alice in Chains hair.
Well, that was those days.
Yeah.
That was some headbanging hair right there.
Oh man, I could sling that hair around.
You'll see me waving my heavy metal hair.
So
young.
In that band, were you just singing or were you playing an instrument or?
Singer.
Okay.
Yeah. I've always been a singer. I'm a failed drummer. Is the way I always describe myself. I'm like, I'm a failed drummer. I always wanted to play drums, but just wasn't as good at it as the drummers that I played with. So, this picture is from like I want to say this was 1998. So I would have been about 35. I don't know. But that's me and Tommy Chong. Let me see. I can't see my own self. Wait.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you see how long my hair is?
Yes.
That's the front of my hair. The back was longer. And
You've got a
that's Tommy Chong.
What was the circumstance for meeting him?
Oh man. Our band was playing at this little dive bar down in downtown Bremerton. I don't even remember what the name of the place was. It doesn't exist anymore. But it was one of those things, it's all like 3 bands, mostly it's the bands and their girlfriends that are chanting.
Right.
So Tommy Chong is doing a show up the street at the Admiral Theater. He was doing 2 shows that night. And my bass player is standing outside smoking a cigarette. And Tommy Chong and his wife come walking down the street between shows. He's looking to get a bite somewhere, and there ain't much open in downtown Bremerton at night. So
right.
he comes walking by. Dan's all he's like barking, he's all like, hey, 3 bands, no cover, Come on in, guys. Tommy Chong, he looks inside and he goes, I don't know, man. Looks like a pretty rough crowd. And Dan was all like, holy shit, you're Tommy Chong. And he's all like, I am, So anyway, he comes in. He was very gracious. Let us take pictures with him. They ordered some nachos. They sat down. Everybody left him alone. They ate their nachos, and then he went back up and did his next show.
Wow.
So that's how that happened. That was probably my first celebrity encounter. I've had so many more since then.
It's so cool to hear that he's such a cool guy, accommodating, letting you take pictures and hang out and whatnot.
Very cool about it. He, it was a small crowd, and
right.
And we were just all like, dude, can I get a picture? And my second wife happened to be there with a camera. So it was all like, yeah, okay. And you can see if you saw the picture, you'd be like, oh my God, look at the smile on your face.
I'd have the same smile though.
I was just
and that's a different time too, where cell phones weren't readily available, especially ones with nice cameras. You got to be like, please, somebody have a disposable camera on them or something, please.
Yeah, I think my work phone back in those days was a Motorola push to talk.
Okay,
like the Nextels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, because we used to use the push to talk most of the time for work instead of actually calling.
Right.
You're like, you just keep pushing it until they answer. What?
Yeah, we used that at a job too, and just those chirps. Like, as soon as you heard them, you're like, better get to the thing. Boss wants to talk to you quick,
Yeah.
But anyway.
Exactly.
Anyway. Well, where are we at here? We're like an hour 10. Was Randy, did you have any other questions you wanted to ask? I really like how this has turned out. I love how casual this has been.
Good.
Yeah. No, I mean, I was going to ask.
I know I have a bad habit of digressing and going off on tangents. So
but see, that's like where the dragon stuff, that's conversation that I was, that we were doing. That's the point of that. You start with the dragon and then you see where it goes. And this was a great example. Sorry, Randy, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I was going to ask Kenny about the, his anime stuff and the con circuit, and he pretty much answered that. So,
yeah. I'm just cranking out animes and gonna get back out on the con circuit first week of February. So
sweet.
Did you have a good holiday season? I meant to ask that at the top of the episode, but might as well throw it in here at the end.
We don't do much because it's just my wife and me now. So
Yeah.
kids are, like my son lives. Well, I flew my son here before Christmas for a visit because he hasn't seen his grandma and I don't know since he was 5.
Holy
And
Wow.
hell.
he's like 28 now. So I was all like,
Get your ass here.
better come visit your grandma because she ain't getting no younger.
Yeah.
So I brought him out. But wife and I mean, we don't even do a tree anymore. She put a few lights in the front windows and she puts out she's got these big stuffed figures. One of them's Snoopy and this other one that's like a bear that is like a toy soldier bear,
Okay, like a
Okay.
nutcracker kind of a
Yeah,
thing.
I just call him Poopy because it's Snoopy and Poopy.
Makes sense.
And that's pretty much the extent. We didn't even buy each other presents because we're always buying shit whenever we want it. It's all like,
Exactly.
oh, we should get that thing. Yeah, Amazon.
Yep.
Merry Christmas.
So it's all like, yeah, this is your Christmas and birthday for the next 2 years. Here you go.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
like that. I'm kind of jealous, actually.
Yeah. Makes it easy peasy.
Yeah, I would say so.
The other 2 kids are in Washington State and they're both in their 20s. So we do have a grandbaby now, though. Uh,
Ooh.
Technically, for me, it's a step grandbaby, but she doesn't feel like she's a stepdaughter because I've known her
Sure.
since she was like 2.
Mm.
Right.
She's in her mid-20s now. So,
Well, then I'd say you can get rid of that step.
Yeah.
well, I'm Grandpa Bowser now.
That's
He doesn't know it yet. And he hasn't realized that, but he's about 3. So,
Okay.
just wait till it gets
couple of more years, he'll start, I'll give him my Switch or something. But here, play this.
And then you're going to come home, broke into your space right there, playing with every Bowser you have. Like, that's actually not a toy, that's a trophy.
I know, get out of my stuff.
well, just wait till he's a little older in his career day, and it's gonna be like, okay, no, I don't want mom and dad. Grandpa's coming to career day. All right.
Grandpa's coming to career day. I'd fly in.
Talk about some cred, man, in the classroom.
Eh?
Wow. My
Yeah.
daddy's a doctor. My daddy does this. My dad is fucking Bowser. Wow.
For about 18 years.
Yeah, congrats on that, by the way. I saw that. You're approaching 20 years as Bowser. Incredible, man.
Yeah, well, the thing is that I cannot specifically remember when I recorded for Strikers, but it released in November of 2005.
Okay.
So I definitely recorded before that. And I know it was months before.
So this
But
might be your 20th year
this
then.
is, I would say this is actually my 19th year.
Okay.
Sometime 2024 should be 19 years.
Okay.
I just don't know exactly when, except for the actual release date of Strikers, which was November. But
Wow.
yeah.
Well, all the same, man.
I always say it.
Congrats.
I go, I'm always going, I don't know. It's about 19 years. I don't know. How long
do something special on your 20th anniversary, like have a special picture that people can get signed by you at the cons or something. 20 years of Bowser.
I should look into some more prints anyway, but
that would be cool. But I'll get one in April if you got them by April. What's that?
From Fire Force. Ooh.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was Iron.
Okay.
Sounded
All
like
right.
a wrestler.
That's a good anime. I like that.
Sight. So, yeah. They brought me in for that just because of the voice.
Yeah. You'll have to let us know because season 3, I think, is at some point they've got to do that, right?
Beats me, man.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't keep track of a lot of it. I don't even watch most of it.
It's a funny thing because like when we start doing this show, I mean, we've been doing this over 10 years now. And when we first started doing it, anytime we did an interview anywhere, anytime we were on somebody else's show, it was like, oh, I've got to get a copy of that. I got to get a copy of that. And after a while, you're just like, I don't give a shit, just take it and run.
Yeah.
It's funny how that happens.
Yeah, I know. I get it.
Yeah. But well, you've already mentioned a lot of these cons you have coming up here, and I know that you can people can go to KennyJamesVoice.com. They can find you on social media at Kenny James Bowser. Where else should we be directing people, Kenny?
Nah, that's pretty much it. I
Pretty
mean,
much it.
I've almost pulled my website because I don't use it for anything.
You said people can find you on Cameo too, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
on
yeah.
Cameo. I think that's also, well, I mean, if you just put in Kenny James, you're going to find me because I don't think the Kenny James from Star Search, I don't think he has a Cameo, but anyway, if it did, yeah, I would be in the lineup somewhere. But
Gotcha.
yeah, I mean, he's a singer, but and I think he's still active.
I'm
Even
looking
though
as we
I
speak.
think he, I think he was on Star Search. Well, Star Search was back in the '80s,
Yeah.
so
I mean, this is quite a novel to read. I'm not going to sit here and read a novel in
oh, I
front of you
know,
guys,
right?
but it looks like he's still alive, still kicking.
Yeah,
But
he's probably still recording. I don't know.
yeah,
I don't even know what genre. I know he's a black guy, but
yeah.
I don't know what genre he sings in. I don't know if he's R&B or
That's
easy.
what it looked like to me, but I mean, I'm just basing that based on his wardrobe and the way he's kind of singing in stills.
Yeah,
It looked like an R&B singer to me, but I
looking
could
all
be way
kind of
off.
looking
Death
kind of
metal.
debonair. Definitely not rap. You know.
No, no, the first pose you were doing there, like holding the mic and a hand out, that was kind of the vibe I was seeing.
Anyway,
Anyway, indeed. Well, Kenny, I want to thank you so much for being here, man. We need to catch up in the future again. Hopefully in April we'll be in Cincy to see you. Get a copy of that awesome autograph for ourselves. Maybe we can hang out after the show or something. But in the meantime, send us one of those songs from Mindfold because I definitely, if I have your permission, would love to put it at the end of the episode.
oh, that would be cool.
Okay.
I think it would be. I'd love to. I can't
I'm
wait to
all,
hear it, and I'd love to share it.
now I'm all like going, which one? Ooh. We even on that album we did a cover of Billion Dollar Babies. Even
Oh, the Alice Cooper song?
yeah, I didn't get to play it for Alice though. I wanted to, but I didn't get the chance to because we talked about it, and he was all like, the intro to that song was hard, and I go, yeah, but our drummer kicked ass, and I wanted to play it for him and never got around to it. So I've met him a bunch times.
At
So
conventions, I know he does cons and stuff. Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
but
it's never too late. I'm sure you're going to cross his paths again. I
oh yeah, if
mean,
I cross his path again, this time I'm gonna pounce on him and be all like, all right, you're gonna listen to it because you got a choice. You know?
awesome, man. Well,
It's like
what's that?
I talked to you about golf. Now you're gonna listen to my song.
He's a great golfer, by the way.
Yeah.
I had no idea until I saw him on TV. And I don't even watch golf. I just turned on the television and it was Alice Cooper playing golf. I'm like, what in the fuck? Am I still asleep?
We talked about that. He was, I think it was the last time I talked to him, and this was probably 3 years ago.
Wow.
But he was getting ready to go out on tour. And I said, you're getting ready to go out on tour, right? And he goes, yeah, we're going out for 7 months. And I went, and you still play golf every day? He goes, every day. And I go, how do you manage that? You know what he says? Callaway sets it up.
What?
Callaway Golf makes sure that all of his golf dates are set. And that
Wow.
he's got
one of those signs that you know you've made it.
He does. He plays every day. So does Kevin Sorbo.
It's so weird you say that. I had a conversation with him. I interviewed him at a con. He and a few other people were doing a Heroes Honoring Heroes where they were honoring people from the Air Force. Yeah. And afterward, I got to talk with him. And, it was just a back and forth quick interview. But as soon as the recorder was off, he immediately wanted to talk golf. He goes, "Hey, I heard that the course up the street is good. Do you like it? What do you think of it?" Because I was actually wearing like a golf kind of style polo, but just because I was going to be on camera, And I said, "I'm sorry, Kevin, but I don't golf at all." His interest in me fell to the floor like that.
Yeah, I got on a shuttle bus to go to a con from the hotel one time, and it was Saturday morning. And he was sitting up in the front, and I went, "Did you actually go golf?" He goes, "I did." And I went, "Are you kidding me?" I go, "What did you play, like 9?" He goes, "No, I played 18.
What?
I was like, what time did you get up this morning?
Golfing with headlamps on and stuff?
I think that was Miami. But anyway, he goes, "Yeah, I got a tee time, and the course pro let me use his clubs." So
wow, so nonchalantly, like, "Oh, you didn't get the same service?"
Well, they don't need me playing golf because it takes me like 8 hours to play around in golf. Most of that's searching for my ball because I'm too cheap to just put another one on the course.
That's when you wear the Special Olympics medal.
That's probably what it's going to be for. My golf clubs are right behind me over here, leaning against my.
Oh, I can see them. Yeah.
And there's a button on there that says, "I golf, therefore I swear."
It's true. They do go hand in hand, don't they?
That's for me.
Yeah.
Anyway, I gotta get going.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. I want to cut you loose, but we just keep going, man.
I know you've tried to outro once or twice, and I've kept opening my yap.
It's okay. We appreciate anything we can get. But Kenny, thank you so much for being here. We'll link everything we've talked about in the episode notes, man. But thank you so much for being here.
No problem.
Randy,
thanks,
what do we
Kenny.
have on the website, sir?
Go to cannedairpodcast.com, see all our past episodes, see our special guests, and if you're interested in hopping on the show and talking to us about your project, send us in contact on our contact page.
There you go. And don't forget, what was that?
Sorry, Chippendale on his shirt.
Yep. I know, isn't it great?
Hey, don't forget it again.
It's all right, man. It's welcome. It's welcome here. This is a podcast. Only talking can only be good. This
is the outro.
And don't forget to find us on Twitter at CannedAirPod, on Instagram at canned_air, and on TikTok at CannedAirPodcast, and the website Randy was just talking about, CannedAirPodcast.com, once again has a merch page and a Patreon page. 2 ways for you to give us some of your hard-earned cash and get something in return. And I'm not going to dwell on that too much because we're running out of time. Randy, am I forgetting anything, my friend?
Shout out to Evergreen Podcasts, and Kenny, thank you so much for being here, man.
Yes, thank you.
Lots of fun.
All right, well, that's going to do it for this week's episode. So until next time, I am Jeremy Colley.
I'm Randy Hardenbrook.
I'm Kenny James. Shoo!
Thanks so much for listening, everyone, and be excellent to each other.